This is gonna be hard because I'm sick now. Motovlogging is an art, people, and editing, arguably the most strenuous part of the video process when it comes to motovlogging. Actually, I guess that's probably hella subjective because some people upload this shit straight out of the GoPro DCIM folder and then they just go get a cup of joe. And that's fine. Some people just pop their video into their favorite editor, they throw an intro, outro on it, and maybe apply a few cuts when they accidentally open their phone on camera and the weird section of Pornhub is still firmly on screen. Or maybe they were just texting a family member. But that's fine too. More power to them. But I go much further beyond that. And please don't think that I'm trying to put myself on a pedestal here. It's just a prevalent kind of compliment that I get in comments, messages, and real life. So I must be doing something right? I always hear how people dig my editing style, or they ask me what I use or how I do it. I thought you guys liked me for my personality. Guess not. Anyway, this video is literally just going to outline my process from the computers I use to the basic shit that I must do to a video to get it into basic shape to be uploaded. Some slight reluctance here to spill the beans on the technique, but hey, right now, outside looks like Tony Montana's desk, and I gotta create something. Right? This is the art of motovlogging. Stop. Respect the technique. This isn't so much a tutorial as it is just me explaining how I do shit, you know? So my camera, GoPro Hero 4 Black with the base model GoPro Hero, auxiliary camera sometimes. My mic, you know, the Sony one. I'm not here to discuss gear though. Okay, maybe a little bit about hardware. So I go out, I film some shit, I vliggity vlog about whatever I want to vlog about, make a few dick fart jokes, and blippity blippity blah, I got a fucking video. If I get home that day, I make sure to place it in a folder on my desktop to keep it on ice, or if I actually plan to edit it and upload it in the same day, then I'll just do that when I get to my school. Okay, maybe that sounds kind of strange. When I get to school, well, yeah, let me explain. This is my current personal rig. Yeah, this bad piece of shit. And it's because this good piece of shit decided to crap out on me for no apparent reason. Shit just starts and it stays at the boot screen. So now me and the mad scientist gotta rip apart the block and replace the piston? What? The fuck, who even wrote this piece of shit? I ain't get this one fixed yet. It's a Lenovo Y700. It's a pretty damn good gaming computer and editing computer, but something went bad. Now this Toshiba Satellite is not a editing computer at all. So when I boot up Premiere Pro, this computer is not particularly happy about it. It takes its sweet time to get loaded, and every single process in editing is just a slow chore. Dude, perfect analogy. Remember that Tron movie? No, not the Daft Punk advertisement of a reboot from a few years ago. I'm talking about the original one from the fucking 80s. You know how they made everything in that movie with the technology that they had back then? They basically just had to do everything frame by frame. They had to code all of the animation relatively blind until they could see the final product of each scene. And it was a painstaking process, even though they showed the, that CGI heavy movie could be made and believably made back in 1982. With this computer, I'm going through that shit in 2017. I won't know what's happening on screen for the most part, because even with the lowest quality preview, the computer still lags. So I can only edit relatively simple vlogs because I have to actually shut off the video track so I can make cuts by sound and my voice. So yeah, some of my videos, I really only know what they look like when they're a finished MP4 file on my desktop. The render process, man. Generally, my computer takes a minimum of 4 hours to render a 6-minute video, and that's provided that I plug in the charger, close the screen, and leave it alone for set hours. Using the computer while rendering can actually mess up the point in the video that the render process was up to, and I'm sure you can imagine how fucking frustrating that would be. The entire thing is just extremely unstable. Every time it shits itself into not responding mode, but somehow comes back from the errors, I make a fucking beeline for that save button. That is unless it decides to... Fuck. Rather than hate myself and edit heavy shit on this piece of shit, I head down to my school and get cracking on one of those shiny, powerful desktop Mac Pros. The editor's dream. Adobe Premiere gets open and shit gets lit. I have the video files with me. I got a flash drive with all the editing essentials. I got my fonts on it, my intro, thumbnail templates, sounds, creation assets, everything. Whatever else I don't have and I need, I'll just download it again. Now editing. See, I told you I'll get to it. Make sure you're wearing both headphones, okay? Okay. Take it away, me.
Alright, so this is how my videos generally look with the basic edits. You're probably used to it looking like this. So I'm about to take all the effects off. So this is how it is straight out of the GoPro folder. See the difference? Hear the difference? Probably hear me out of one ear because this GoPro mic adapter, it only outputs through one ear channel. So what I have to do is I have to throw an effect on it called fill left with right. So it basically fills the left ear channel with the right ear channel, so it balances it out. When it comes to the actual video, there's a filter I use called what is it, Canon 3510, something like that. And I find that the filter kind of makes the scene a little bit more saturated, a little more contrasted, like dark colors are darker, especially during the winter where everything is just blue and gray.
I remember a while ago, Big X Derek put it in great words in his Motovlog tips video. He said, if you're not saying something interesting, you gotta make sure that something interesting is on screen. I'm an extremely ADHD ass motherfucker, so I know that what I'm editing to be entertaining in a fun sense, I have to follow that mantra. My style of vlogging typically favors rough transitions, abrupt jump cuts. It sounds counterproductive, but it makes for a video where once the meat of the dialogue starts, it continuously flows. Hell, you might even find that I cut myself off with jump cuts at times, and that's on purpose 90% of the time. Sometimes abrupt cuts are part of the joke, and they don't give the viewer time to process the joke before the next statement is made. Therefore, they just giggle, slap the knee, whatever the case may be, and then they have to focus on what's now being said. Longer cuts I leave for when there's constant dialogue, perhaps less of a need for jumps that will get tiring. I may squeeze a few in because I like my videos to be short or medium length. I'm still at the point where it's hit or miss whether or not people watch my vids, so long drawn out vids work better for more established creators. I take into consideration whether I should include my intro, how much more I can cut out, and how long the video really needs to be. I don't want people to have to come back and finish a video because newsflash, they might not. Remember what I said about there being something interesting on screen? That's where edits come in. After I make the cuts of the actual footage, I go back to the beginning and I start adding effects and edits. I got my specific colors, my fonts to use, sounds to use. It creates a sense of continuity, you know what I mean? So for example, if you hear, odds are I almost dropped my bike, or something abrupt happened, like a car swerving or something being denied. For those who don't get the joke, it's a dance, but it's also slang in the hood for being denied something. Yo, can I owe $5? Yeah. A scene of just lane splitting can be made entertaining with some acknowledgement that I'm being douchey through self-deprecating humor. Now, apply this mantra generally. Many otherwise boring scenes can be spruced up to be usable via text jokes, zooms, pans, sound effects, animated images, GIFs. When I'm running through a video, I ask myself, how can this scene be better? What's the right amount of editing? What's too much editing for a scene? And once I feel like the video has been enhanced enough, I start to decide on music. My taste in music is very diverse, perhaps you've noticed. You know, I could go from fucking Doritos and Mountain Dew wub step to some super cool, chilling, smooth jazz. It really depends on the vibe I'm going for in the video. If I'm going for something longer in length, I might go for an easily loopable 90s boom bap beat. Being whimsical or legitimately just vlogging laid back, I might throw some jazz on the video. If I'm going for a faux informative video, classical is the way to go. Ultimately, it's up to my discretion, and even though it's never blasting in your ears, you see, music in motovlogs is very polarized. Some vloggers don't use music at all. Some have it in the background. I have it very faintly in the background. I want you to hear it, but not so much that you focus on it. You feel me? I believe that music can help in, once again, allowing otherwise boring scenes fly, but not for long, only just long enough to bridge the gaps of dialogue. You may increase the volume during gaps, but not extremely and not for too long if the video on screen is only mildly interesting. I'm a whitelisted Monstercat subscriber, so I get to use the huge Monstercat library of music and not get copyright dicked. I also use royalty-free YouTube tracks provided, and sometimes I use my own music I produced. Sometimes the song itself is not long enough. I've used 2 different songs in the video. It doesn't always turn out clean, but it's a solution. The other answer is to use contextual opportunities to drop the song and pick it up after in an earlier spot in the song. Say for instance, something outrageous happens, or you say something outrageous, or you're reacting to something. You can drop the song abruptly, allow the event to happen, and then pick up the song earlier in itself. That's something that actual vloggers tend to do. So then I watch the entire video again with the music. I do a few more chops to find out the final length. My export settings tend to be 1080p, 60 frames with the bitrate of about 29. So while the video is rendering, I start to make the thumbnail. Somewhere in the video, I usually pull a still image and place it within my thumbnail template. This is how it looks. I'll apply the appropriate text and then I'll just save it as a JPEG to upload for the thumbnail. When the video finished rendering, I proof watch it one more time. By then, in my eyes, the video is a piece of artistic shit that doesn't exceed the sum of its parts, is amateurishly edited, full of flaws, and is the reason why species are dying, people are starving, climate is changing, and Trump is presidenting. You see, because I made the video, I sat there for 5 hours and edited that fucker. I didn't eat yet because I had to wait for it to upload. In my head, I know only like 4 people are gonna watch it, and in my head, it's still not good enough because you know how it goes. Artists hate their own work. Forgive the cheesiness, but you have to have a dual-layered consciousness for this shit. Your first consciousness says, this is shit, but it's overwritten by the second that understands why the first thinks that. Great, now you think I'm fucking crazy. Anyway, I have to give it a few hours before I stop hating the video, then I'm cool with it. I start to think, yeah, this is fucking dope, once that artistic self-hate fades away. Because you see, motovlogging is an art, and even if you don't agree, well, you still ought to respect the technique. Thank y'all for watching. Hopefully you don't see this as the ramblings of an insane buckethead. If you enjoyed, why don't you shoot me a thumbs up? This has been The Illustrator. Stay ill, my friends.